This is Morning Motivation for Educators on the Bee Podcast Network. Learn about all the shows at beepodcastnetwork.com. You'll hear from a variety of formal and informal educators who help put this podcast together. If you'd like to contribute your voice to the show, please go to morningmotivationedu.com to apply. I am Karen Dudek-Brannan. I was a school SLP for 14 years where I specialized in language literacy and executive functioning and also held various teaching, leadership, and research roles. Now, I am the host of the De facto Leaders podcast on the Bee Podcast Network, where I help school therapists, teachers, and administrators be leaders on their school teams no matter their job title. With the science of reading trending, there's a lot of information for educators to sift through. So what I wanted to do today was talk about one big misconception about teaching reading and just learning in general, as well as share a really great resource that sums up a lot of the debates around reading instruction today. So what I wanted to share with you today is a blog post by Pamela Snow, who is a well-known expert in literacy instruction, and the title of the article is Balanced Literacy Bingo, so you can actually just Google it and find it if you want to reference it. But what I wanted to do today is pull out one big misconception that is sort of an overview of some of the things that she covers in this article. Dr. Snow is a big proponent of science of reading and structured literacy and the idea that kids need to be explicitly taught to read, which is backed by years and years of research. Yet there are many misconceptions that impact all learners, but especially impact learners that struggle to learn to read. And a lot of this stems from the thoughts around how we foster a love of reading. And the common misconception about some of these explicit methods is that they kill the love of reading because they aren't fun, and that instead we need to be doing reading activities that are fun. And while I agree that it is important for students to be engaged, there is not evidence that shows that learning always has to be fun. In fact, there is a lot of evidence that shows that a lot of learning happens when we are going through a challenging learning curve, which doesn't always feel fun and comfortable. So I know that as a teacher, it can be challenging to work with students who are going through those difficult learning curves, but often when we go through a learning curve and we develop confidence in our skills and we work through some of those challenging tasks that maybe don't feel comfortable and don't feel fun, then what lies on the other side is something really important, which is our ability to build confidence with a skill. And if kids go through school and they're not confident in their reading skills, that is going to be way more stressful than having to go through a phonics lesson that might not be what they want to do in that moment. So what I wanted to do today is just challenge this idea that learning always has to be fun. There is a difference between being engaged and having fun. If we as adults only did things that were fun, we'd never get anything done. We'd actually put ourselves in a situation that would be stressful and way less fulfilling. There are a lot of things that we wouldn't be able to do if we didn't get the hard work done first. So I think instilling this idea that everything has to be fun all the time is really doing kids a huge disservice. And this is a theme that's come up in reading instruction, but it is a theme that has come up in learning and in the education system in general. Learning doesn't always have to be fun. It does have to be structured and scaffolded in a way that finds that happy medium between making things challenging, but still allowing kids to work through that learning curve in a healthy way. And they don't always have to be enjoying themselves. Sometimes they might have to do things that aren't their first choice and aren't their preferred thing to be doing in order for them to build skills that are going to help them have a better life in the long run. Again, if you want to get a synopsis of some of the arguments around the science of reading debate, check out that article by Pamela Snow. Again, it's called Balanced Literacy Bingo. I think it will help you to find some very useful information around challenging this assumption around fun versus engagement. Thanks for listening, and whatever role you have in education, we have a podcast for you at bpodcastnetwork.com. Who among your friends and colleagues needs to hear this message today? Please share it with them right now.